gonna play for food money. It was a game. The sounds, the smells. Did you ever hold a ball or a glove to your face?
So guys, this is going to be a bonus clip that isn't a part of necessarily the original episode, but the person that you are going to meet in this interview is Southside Jake, who is a recording artist, voiceover actor, host, and director of the artist talent at Songfinch. So Jake emceed the event at the Field of Dreams, saw me running around the entire time we were both kind of creating and capturing content for everyone. And Jake came up to me and said, "Hey, why don't I interview you?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, let's see where this goes." Like, I already kind of had a plan in mind of what it was that I wanted to get, but I was like, let's see where this goes. So you're going to hear my love of baseball, where that comes from. We also get a little sidetrack talking about creating and producing, but I promise you, if you just stay with us for a second, it all ties back together to baseball, to the Field of Dreams. So check out this bonus video and audio clip, depending on how you're listening to it, from the Field of Dreams. Enjoy.
All right, you've been holding the mic all day. Finally, let's interview the interviewer, Jenna Duddleson, City Kids Classic. Tell me, what's your role here? What are you doing? Capturing content, I'm assuming. What brings you to Iowa?
I don't really think I had a choice, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I don't think you had a choice either.
No, we're here on the same thing. I was doing it for show.
Neither of us had a choice. No, when Mike told me about this back in, I think it was January or December, I think January, to me, I was like, hell yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you get to rent this out? Like look at this bed. Like, just seriously, just turn around. Like, and again, like, just watching the movie, like, we both watched the movie last night. We talked about that, and it's like, the fact that we're all here, and, like, these kids obviously really probably don't understand the significance of this, but, like, to be here to film the podcast and to talk about, like, a really, and Mallory just walks by smiling. Thanks, Mal. I don't know, it's just poetic. It's just awesome to be here, and I'm grateful that, like, Mike gave me the opportunity to come and, like, capture stuff for not only Gret, but for myself, too.
Yeah, there was magic. Like,
yes.
Corny stuff to say, but it was supposed to rain. There was rain in the forecast. It looked like thunderstorms when we got here.
Yep.
It drizzles. The skies break. We get, like, sun and the whole deal. Like, magic was in the air tonight, for sure.
It was honestly, and again, it sounds so corny, but we did the introduction. It was a little bit of miss, and I had my umbrella, like, and I'm walking around filming, and I'm like, shit, like, if this is going to be this way this whole time, this is going to suck. But then once I got a shot behind home of the pitcher and you saw the sun and the clouds, just like, it literally looked like God, like, beaming through, and he's like, no, we're gonna have baseball today.
That's what I'm saying. It was
it was super corny.
So
was
corny,
awesome.
but there
It
was
awesome.
there was genuine magic.
Genuine
What's
magic.
your history with baseball in general? I know you have, like, a softball family, but, like, you have a baseball family too. What's your baseball history in life?
Yeah, I was trying to think about actually this question yesterday. Like,
Well, interjecting, I'll half answer for you
Yeah.
because part of one of the most historic pubs in the history of White Sox baseball, let alone Chicago. So, like, there's your answer, even if there isn't an answer.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's an actual, like, ball field answer in there somewhere as well.
There is, and I think the bar definitely has a big part to do with it. Like, growing up in the shadows of Sox, being able to sit on my porch and being able to look out my back window and see the fireworks.
Crazy.
Like, I didn't realize how not normal that was, how like super meaningful that is. I think also the fact that, like, my dad played baseball. My dad played 16 softball, which is, like, big in Chicago. But being a little kid, I just wanted to be at the Diamond. Like, I just wanted to be near a field because there was something where I felt like a kid.
Yeah.
Like, and that sounds silly saying it when you're a kid, but, like, even now as an adult, like, I look forward to baseball games more than anything in the world because I feel like a kid again. And there's that, like, magic of you don't know what's going to happen, but that's part of the magic of being a kid too, right?
Right.
And so it was that. My cousin Pat played baseball, so as a little kid we traveled around to go see him play too. I'm probably missing more.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I remember being
yeah.
in Shinix too. I think it's recently changed, but the wall of the framed photos was like 70% softball and ball fields. I feel
Yeah.
like all those photos, because I was the same way. It was always
Yeah.
just like at the ballpark, whether it was baseball, softball, whatever. You were
Yeah.
at the ballpark.
Right.
So like, again, the corny stuff, the smell, the hot dog, the grass, the
Yeah.
hose going literally to water the grass, like the smell, the nostalgia.
I remember, and so another thing that's kind of funny, my dad grew up a Cubs fan. So he just had to, I know, right? It's weird, but I'm a diehard White Sox fan. I don't want to say we've converted him, but he just likes good baseball. That's his thing.
That's fair.
And he's a fan of baseball. But we had season tickets in 2003 when we had the All-Star game.
Yes.
And I remember being able to go, and like such a cool moment to experience like baseball with your dad. You know, that's not a diss to moms. Like,
No,
love
there's
my
a
mom,
little
but like
bit
there's something
of something
really
special
amazing of going to a ball game with your dad. And I remember being at the ball game with my dad for the home run derby, and where we were sitting, we were like on the foul pole, first base line, and this little kid was like hit a ball to me, and there was like the ball was never gonna come to him. So my dad, Chicago guy,
Yeah.
he had a guy, he called a guy.
there. Of course, he
And
knows a guy.
And a guy brought the kid a ball, and it just like, made this whole
Yes.
kid's day. And I just remember being like, God, that's so cool. Like that kid's gonna tell that story to his kids like for the rest of his life. You know, like how,
Yeah.
like, and again, it was just like my dad was like, no, it's just the right thing to do. Like,
Yeah.
you make a phone call, and so yeah, I think about that and the smells, and you walk into Comiskey. It's not guaranteed, right? It's Comiskey.
Yeah.
And you smell the onions.
That's what I'm saying.
Even like the stale beer, like the smell of stale
the
beer.
essence
it's-
of
it's-
whatever
it's
it is.
incredible.
Yeah.
Like everyone's happy, even though people are drunk. And I wanted to sock a kid yesterday at the game, which is another story for another time. But yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
So you never get to talk about your stuff. So you have Bar Talk with Jenna
Mm-hmm.
amongst your other enterprises, and you're always interviewing cool people and talking to people. I feel like you don't get to like shine your spotlight. So you're on the Believe Network
Yeah.
now. Like,
Yeah.
tell me what's actually cracking with you, because again, I'll interject. Started very humble. Respectfully to you,
I did,
like
yeah.
just like a phone and maybe nothing else really going on,
yeah.
but still like, and then like watching it grow and progress and get
Yeah.
cooler and cooler guests, higher quality content,
Yeah.
and then you're on the Believe Network, and it's
Yeah.
just like I feel like it was a bit of like a relentless pursuit
Yeah.
to get wherever the heck you're at, and I know
Yeah.
you're not done, but
No.
tell me like what's going on with the podcast.
Yeah, so when I started this, I always said there is like it's very time consuming for anyone who does any type of content. You get it. Like
Right.
it can't just be a hobby. It can be. It's a very expensive, time consuming hobby.
And it's hard to be successful
And
if
it's
it's a
hard to be
hobby because like
successful.
consistency is
Yeah.
the key. Constant content, constant output.
So when I started, I said, again, like back in 2020 during COVID, it was like I need to get out of bed. And then once I realized, okay, people like this, people want this, then it was like, okay, what's the goal? And my goal was like, I want to get picked up by a network.
And
And that was the goal,
literally
literally,
have.
and I have, and that's what's great. Like I said, that the goal is to get picked up by a network, and I want to be able to grow. Sorry, pause. But I want to be able to grow in that network, and so it's like, Believe was everything I wanted, and then some, and it totally came to me by. It's so crazy. It was like invisible strings. It was like my gut pulling me there, like Kevin Costner's character telling him to like make this fucking field in a way that like I didn't expect it, but it came so. It was so not me. It was like the big man's plan.
Yeah.
So again, I'm really grateful to be there. We have a really lot of cool things happening. We just signed a deal with SiriusXM Radio for all of our 32 NFL teams. We have 500 shows in our network. Some of the guys that are like under our umbrella are like insane, like Adam Peckman Jones.
Dude, I was on there yesterday looking at the whole roster. It's insane.
It's
Like,
insane.
Believe is a very, first of all, I'm not just saying this, I already knew Believe.
Yeah.
It's a very established network.
Yeah.
And then
it's still,
I
and it's
deep.
still young.
Yes,
That's the
yeah.
thing.
I think it's going to be.
It's going to.
Yeah, yeah.
I really feel like I got in at the right time. We're still a young company. We have like 15 employees. I think we just hired another person. But what I love about it is everyone's really passionate.
Yeah.
And I think, again, you get this being creative. Being creative is one thing. Being creative with hard work and ethic and driven, it doesn't always line up.
Yes.
So when you find a group of people that fall under that category, I'm just like, I am so blessed. Also, a lot of hard work to get there. I'm not even,
Of course.
like,
yeah,
and I get
yeah,
that.
Of course.
But yeah, I think it's just the beginning, and like again, very humble beginnings. Like literally, used my phone, didn't have a shitty audio quality, and like, it's
But-
just over 2 years.
At the risk of tying it all in, that's everything though, right? Like
Yeah.
grit clothing in general started just like, oh, let's throw our logo on a t-shirt. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like not making it about me, but my music started like
Same,
very
yeah.
humbly. Like I don't even know how
Absolutely.
to write a song. And like now we're standing at the Field of Dreams in front of like all this craziness.
Yeah.
And it's like you, the podcast, but I think consistency is the
Yeah.
key. It's okay if you're not the best yet.
Yeah.
But just like show up again, show up again, show up again. And I think you've done that. I think Grit does that. I think if I dare be,
You do that too.
I think I
You
do that. You know what I
You
mean?
do.
So
And I even think to the kids here, you know, like what a cool story to say that, like, again, I'm gonna put this, I'm manifesting this out there. We have a kid out here who's gonna play in the Major League Baseball.
1,000%.
And who's gonna win a World Series. And like you're gonna look back at this footage and be like, holy shit, he was here. And to think that maybe he listens to this and it's like, if you can be consistent, you can do anything. Like it's a lot of work.
Yep.
But if you can be consistent, the world is your oyster.
I think that's the difference. Like talent is there, and you have to have talent. But there's so many talented people that fizzle out because they're not consistent.
Yeah.
And they don't do it day in, day out. Not for weeks, not for months, but like for years and years. You know what I mean?
I mean, and I even think about, like, I just posted a video the other day. Again, you grow, trying to market yourself, trying to grow. I posted a video the other day because it was National Wine Day.
Yeah.
Someone asked me, was like, hey, for Believe, can you do like some original content for us? I was like, sure. So I basically did a video of me chugging wine. Kids don't chug wine at home, unless you're 21 of age and have drank wine before. But I chugged a glass of wine and posted it, not thinking anything of it. And I looked, and it had over 11,000 views within like less than 5 hours. And so I'm like, so again, for me, it's like I haven't hit a video. I mean, besides my house almost burning down.
That was a good one. I was tuned into that.
But you know, you have to keep swinging. Like you literally just have to keep swinging, because every time you get a single, then you eventually get a double, and then you get a triple, and then you get a grand slam, and then you just keep getting hits and hits, but you don't get that until you keep doing it.
Especially in the content social media game. And I feel like too, like, I don't want to project on you, but like we're all from the south side of Chicago, pun intended. There is a grittiness about that, right?
Absolutely.
So I have the devil and the angel on my shoulder of like, not that you're too cool for that, but like, man, put your phone down, stop capturing that, like enjoy the moment. We don't do that. And then the other part of me is like, no, dude, like if you're trying to actually encapsulate this and push a brand, it has to be captured somehow, some way. So like, do it. And then it's funny. Then you get one that hits, and it's like, oh, 300,000, whatever. We all know it's just internet stats. Who cares? But also, here we go. Now we're booming a little bit.
It's oddly one of those really good things that like boost you in the algorithm, which this is obviously conversation has gone a little sideways on like content creating. But again, I think it ties back in everything. It's like working hard, being consistent, having that grit. Because I know I had times when I started doing this, and I bet you probably had moments too, where like I had a conversation. I literally in January was having like the worst time ever doing this. I was like, I think I'm done. Like I just don't think I'm going to do this anymore. Nothing. It wasn't panning out the way I wanted to. A little bit of winter blues, like if I'm being honest. And you never know what a person's words are going to say to you and how they impact you. Because I had two people come up to me on the same day.
Yep.
And one was a girl, and she said to me, "You have no idea how much your shit means to me and how much it's helped me."
Yeah.
And then the other one was a guy who I haven't seen in years come up to me in a bar, and he's like, Jenna, I'm not saying this to say this, but like, people need you.
Yes.
And little did they know, like, I was having the worst day of my like creative life, we'll say, right?
Sure.
Like worst day creatively, where you're just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm over this shit. And that little push and that little reminder of like you're doing something that matters meant a lot.
Yeah, perspective. I know we're going off the rails, but let it fly. Perspective for me is key.
Yeah.
Because like every victory you get, like you're gonna have a bad day at the Believe Network.
Oh, yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
But you're gonna like, if you have the perspective to look up and go like, dude, I like dreamed of being here. And I know you're nowhere near done. You know, take over the world is the goal. But like, damn, if you can have the perspective that I am maybe touching someone. Someone sends a DM, this really affected me, this means a lot to me, whatever. Also, dare I say, I think whatever the south side of Chicago is, I genuinely do think it's underrepresented. So the fact that like you're doing your thing, Grit's doing their thing, I'm trying to do my little thing, like I think we're giving a little bit of, at least trying to give a voice, and I think that's pretty cool too.
I think people hear the south side, and I had this experience living in a small town for a year in college. And it was so not, people looked at me, and I literally had someone say to me, and I know that this is going to sound nuts, they were like, you're white.
Yeah.
They're like, you can't be from the south side. And I said, and again, and it wasn't this person's fault. That was the way the media had portrayed the South Side of Chicago for years. And I want them to understand, like, there are so many beating hearts and amazing souls within each of the communities on the South Side, and they are some of the best people that I know, and I know you know too.
Oh, 1000%.
Like, and we look out for each other and we care for each other. And again, it's like there are two South Side kids who grew up together playing baseball, and they're giving back to a bunch more South Side kids, and so it's just this like never-ending effect of like they're giving back, and you want to do it in a really good way. And like, to me, like, that this is like, obviously there's a shit ton going on in the world right now, but like there's a lot of good too.
Oh, so much good.
You got to dig through it, but there's so much good. And like, to me, this is good. Like, what is happening right now is the good.
Dude, today was a magical thing. If there was a representation of what the air quotes good is, like, it was today. A bunch of literal city kids, probably some of who are like from underserved communities, whatever. Like, the magic was just here. It was a fun day. Like, literally, as we're doing it, I don't know how much cameras pick it up. Like, the game just ended. People are like playing catch and like having fun. It was just, today was like whatever, the manifestation of just a cool, magical day. Today was it. So I'm glad I got to pick your brain for 2 seconds, because I know you're interviewing everyone else.
Yeah.
So
I always like being on this end of it. I don't get to do it very often, but I appreciate it, and everyone needs to go follow Jake. So he will be linked in the show notes and in the bio description. Okay.
And if I'm posting this, go follow Jenna and Bartok. Salutations.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that little bonus clip. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, the next Shoeless Joe Jackson, the next Babe Ruth, the next Jackie Robinson, the next Paul Konerko was at the Field of Dreams that day as a little kid. Stay tuned to find out. All right, guys, thank you for listening to that bonus clip. And I hope you all take the time today to realize that we have way more in common with each other than we have different. I'll see you next time. Take care.
Hey, everybody, it's closing time. You don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.